would like to welcome you to New Orleans. The local time is 12:32.
We made it to NOLA!
It's hot.
It's very hot. Now I gotta get to our hotel. Ooh, let's see this view. Whoa. Wow.
That looks crazy.
That run was clutch. Showered. Clean.
Feeling fresh.
Going to get some brunch now. I'm excited.
Bloodies!
Yeah, I'm probably bloody.
Yeah, well, no, we're having a bloody.
Thank you.
Wow.
We ran into Sarah. She came and met us for some coffee. What's your Instagram handle?
Sarah D. Weaver.
Definitely follow her, guys. She's been killing it. This is what I love about the conference. We get to meet Instagram friends, and now we're like in real life friends.
In real life friends. And we already have so much in common. We've talked finances, life plans, dating, traveling.
All of the things.
All the things.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Checking in for Clugston.
Snapshot there and get hooked up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're all set.
We're here in the lobby and we just met Jane,
From
who
Georgia.
surprised us with a little paint sprayer hack.
What is it?
This is an elastic strainer that goes over your 5-gallon bucket, pour your paint in, and it strains the paint. You strain it out, and then you hook up your sprayer and go to town.
No clogs.
She saw us struggling on our video a couple weeks ago when we were using our sprayer, and she came to the rescue. Oh, you're the best.
Awesome. Thank you, Jane. It's great to meet you.
First day of the conference.
Day one. Lego.
So Hal Elrod is a best-selling author, a well-known speaker, the host of the Achieve Your Goals podcast.
What is up, hot couple? So excited to hear you talk.
Live from BiggerPockets 2021.
So much energy. Now you guys know we don't do short-term rentals, but this couple does, so you better follow them. Oh yeah. But yeah, they'll pick up some nuggets. maybe a whole transition.
We'll convert you guys.
Yeah.
Brandon Turner is a comeback to follow, so you hear my 70 million after you just heard his 200 million last year. But it's not a competition, because that's what I tell myself.
That's it. We're going home. Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
What's up, guys? We just got back from BPCon and I'm tired.
I'm exhausted. Because I've never been to NOLA before, but that was outside of the conference as well a fantastic time.
Overall, amazing trip, amazing conference. Kyle and I had this bright idea that we were gonna go in Saturday. So the conference was Monday, Tuesday. We're like, oh, we'll go in Saturday. We'll have all day Saturday, all day Sunday to ourselves. We'll be able to do like a little mini vacation. And then we'll do the conference Monday, Tuesday, and come home Wednesday. I don't know why I didn't think that everyone else was gonna have the same plan. So we didn't necessarily get like that romantic couples getaway that maybe I thought we were gonna get. We stayed at the conference hotel, so we ran into people like literally as we were checking in.
We didn't think we were gonna start networking until like Monday, Tuesday, so it started literally, like right when we got there, which was cool.
No, I loved it. We got to meet so many of you guys. We got to meet so many people we've been chatting with on Instagram, but it was a full like 4 days.
Yeah.
I'll even say 5 days because we ran into people at the airport and got like, and they invited us to the priority lounge with them before the flight. Like it was just like chatting with people all day, every day.
From all over the U.S. I mean, it was pretty awesome, especially with our strategy and things that we want to start doing in the future. It was great to meet people that are doing those things now.
Yes. So they gave us these really cool little notebooks and we took so many notes throughout the entire conference. So we're going to share some of our key takeaways from the conference and then what our action steps are afterwards, because we always say, stop consuming content and then moving on to the next piece of content. Consume one, learn a lesson, and then put that into action. So it'd be like bad of us to just go to a conference and then
not implement
anything
that we learned there. And there was a bunch of different like breakout sessions that we wanted to go to. And unfortunately, we couldn't both be at all of them. So what we did was we just kind of like divided and conquered. So like I took notes, she took notes, and then we just met after and just kind of dissected what we were learning. So let's just dive into it.
Yeah, I would say one of the first takeaways was from the first session with Hal Elrod. He's the author of Miracle Morning. I bought and read that book a couple years ago, did my version of Miracle Morning a bit, and then kind of like fell off the wagon. He was so inspiring. He had so many good quotes. Like one that really resonated with me was that emotional pain is self-created by your resistance to your own reality. Like, I just feel like that sums me up to a T. I get in my own way all the time. So that was a huge one. And then really just a reminder of like how powerful a morning routine is, and I really need to get back on it.
Yeah.
Do you want to start one?
I do. Because honestly, when I was in the academy and we had an early morning routine forced on us, I never felt more productive. I was probably on the least amount of sleep, but I was more rested because we were going to bed a little bit earlier, had a great morning routine, and yeah, it clears your mind. It definitely does. And
I think when we were doing our triathlon, I'm a morning workout person, so I was waking up before work and working out and training for the triathlon. And we had a lot of people who were like, I'm sorry, you were doing X, Y, Z, and on top of all of that, you were training for a triathlon. And in my head, the only way we were able to do X, Y, Z was because we were training for a triathlon, because we were waking up in the morning, working out, taking care of ourselves. That like gave us the like mental clarity and the energy to do everything else that we were doing this past year.
Yeah. One of my personal favorite sessions was investing out of state with David Meyer, and it really resonated and hit home with us because that's something that we're looking to do as we scale in the future. And he was very statistic based, very numbers based, factual on growth, population, and rent rates in markets. So, and then how to go about analyzing those markets that we don't know. It's very easy for us to run numbers in the market that we're in right now, but a market in another state that we have no idea what the numbers are, how do you even go about finding those areas? I can't just throw a dart at a map. So he was big on getting onto like the state census website, going directly to the source, and even smaller than that, getting onto the city's census and seeing which areas you're seeing the most increased population growth. And then even farther than that, you can start to just Google the city, see why it's growing. Is there businesses coming in there or corporations coming in there that's going to bring renters to the area? So I loved his like analytical view on it. A couple things that he suggested when you're looking at strange markets that you may want to get into. He believes that better weather equals a better quality of life, which there is a steady rise in population in areas that have both of those things.
Are we moving there?
I would love to move there. Usually means beach town.
Yeah, I'm down. Well, Kyle was in that session. I was in the short-term rental session, which we're also very interested in. And it was a panel of some heavy hitters in the short-term rental space. So it was like Avery Carl, Ziana McIntyre, Tony and Sarah Robinson. And then they had a moderator, Travis Sherry. So it was like a killer panel and got me revved up about short-term rentals. They shared a quote and it was, "Be so unique that people can't help but remark on it." And I thought that was a really good way to differentiate your Airbnb rental from others. And they shared so much good stuff about how it's all about the experience and how to choose a good market. Regulation played a heavy hand in that. They said if a town doesn't have regulation, it doesn't mean it's a good short-term rental town. It just means they don't have regulation yet. So you probably should kind of steer clear from that, which I thought was super awesome, or at least super helpful. They talked about funding, they talked about different types of loans, and then they talked a lot about how to make short-term rentals as passive as possible through different automation sites like Beyond Pricing, AirDNA, a lot of good stuff. So I have been wanting to stay away a little bit, I think, from short-term rentals because I thought it was going to be a lot more hands-on, which I know it is. But hearing that they do have so much automation software makes me pretty excited.
Yeah, and I love that you went to that one because it was like, I went to the investing out of state, you went to the short-term rental, and that's what is so scary about diving into a new asset class because you do have to go out of state sometimes. So not only are we analyzing strange markets, but then we're trying to break into a new asset
It's like
class.
2 in
So
1.
it's like, yeah, it's like a double hit.
So much now.
I love that we were able to split up for those 2 sessions.
Yeah. And I think like one of the coolest parts about the conference is that the people on the panels, they're hanging around. So you get to talk to them after the session. So we actually hung out with Ziana for a while. We hung out with Sarah Weaver, who is someone we met on Instagram a while ago and basically hung out the entire conference. Sarah's awesome if you want to check her out. She traveled like 40 plus countries and now is 14 units and she's sweet. So short-term rentals is definitely something we're interested in. Maybe something you'll see in the future. Teaser. We're talking to.
I was just gonna tease it.
Go.
We're talking to Travis, young retiree by 33. That's his handle on Instagram. If you haven't checked him out, you definitely have to. But he's jumping on with us next week because a lot of you have been saying golf content. Well, you're getting your golf content. Travis is gonna jump in. And we're gonna play a 9-hole. So.
And Kyle's just gonna ask him all of the questions about short-term rentals. We're just gonna like treat him like our personal little mentor guru and just bombard him with all of the questions.
Because since BPCon, like I'm so like motivated into that space, and like I have so many questions, and then I know that like he gets a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be a really informative, kind of relaxing episode.
And I think why I'm now a little bit more excited about short-term rentals is I'm always thinking about like our long-term growth, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to manage short-term rentals for like forever. And Avery Carl on the panel was like, I have 100 plus units, 8 of them are short-term rentals, and her thought process is she has these high cash flowing short-term rentals that she then takes that cash flow and buys long-term rentals with, and that was like a click for me. That was like, oh, okay, you can have short-term rentals as part of your portfolio to help you get the cash flow for the long-term rentals.
And it was semi a mindset shift, because if we're trying to replace our income so that we can leave our job so that we can focus more on real estate, it's the cash flow that we need, not the long-term wealth.
So focus on cash flow now, and then maybe we'll focus on the long-term wealth in the future.
All right.
Moving on. Real quick, do you guys like how this window is trimmed out, that window is not trimmed out, but we did find time to hang a painting? It's all balanced.
And actually that window's trimmed out, but it needs to be redone.
Oh yeah.
Because I added the Craftsman trim to it, so.
And we don't have blinds or curtains.
Hey, you know.
So our neighbors, I'm like very curious what they think we're filming right now.
I didn't even think about that. So, my next breakout that was one of my top, if not my top, was with Anson Young, and his was about finding deals in any market. So, kind of going hand in hand with Dave Myers, investing out of state, but diving in a little bit deeper, not on the numbers and analytics side, but more on like the hands-on approach to send out mailers, drive for dollars, cold call. And he actually said that his most successful rate of return on callbacks, or on touches, I guess, is the cold calling right now. So maybe it's a strategy that we start diving into more in the future. We touched on it a little bit, but I thought we were getting pretty good at it.
Yeah.
You did pretty good on the last couple.
So, and I think I didn't go to this session, but when we were talking about it afterwards, I think what we realized is we're definitely sprinters. Like we do something for a little bit amount of time, and then we like move on to the next thing.
Historically, though, we have been successful in that sprint.
Yeah.
So it's not like we sprint and then we fail and then we stop.
No, we just gotta keep doing it.
Yeah, we do have to just keep doing it and implement it. So he has a great book that is called Finding and Funding Great Deals that I've I'm literally probably going to get off of this and go buy, because I actually forgot that he mentioned that to me. So one of the awesome things that I think he does is setting up a team out of state, long distance. And I'm just going to read it directly from the book because I don't want to like miss anything. But he has a real estate agent that he pays by the hour, who does comparative market analysis for him. He has a runner who he utilizes to take pictures, video of potential properties. He's got an asset preservation person who's set to just board up windows, put up lock boxes, change the locks on new properties, and then he has an acquisitions person that's going to negotiate any deals. And it was funny because after I listened to this, I kind of realized that we kind of do have a local team set up like that here, but some people just have multiple responsibilities.
Right.
So it was really reassuring to know that kind of what we have set up, he's doing on a larger scale. He also talked about population growth and to look for that when choosing a new market. And like two good sites that they talked about were citydata.com and census.gov to get those numbers. So loved that session. I'm buying that book like in 10 minutes.
I don't know if you guys noticed, we got the bigger rug.
Yes, we did. And I love that you guys suggested the bigger one because you were definitely right. And Lauren was right. You said the bigger one. So you're definitely right. It looks way better.
Yeah. All right. Then Kyle and I both went to the self-storage session together, another asset class we're interested in. There's like a million at this point.
Even more than short-term rental, I think that we're a little bit more.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, self-storage is
this was led by Paul Moore. He dropped so much good content. Great guy when it comes to self-storage. He has a book that I'm looking to read right now. His session was definitely less like, hey, self-storage is great, you should look into it. He like assumed you were already into it, and he's like, these are all the ways you're gonna make lots of money. Here are 5 examples that you could increase, income, decrease expenses. It was like very practical. And that's one of the things that like, I feel like some content or some conferences you go to, people give like broad strokes. And I felt like at this conference, they were like, this is how much I make per hour, or this is how much I'm charging per hour. This is the site I use. This is the document I use. Like people were sharing a lot of information, like very transparent.
It was very similar to like, if you've ever looked into like large multifamily home, how to decrease expense and raise value, it was very similar.
Yeah, it's still commercial property.
Still a commercial property, yeah.
I would say the biggest takeaway from this one is like all of the different things you could do to increase income. So like offering RV and boat storage if you have land, adding U-Haul options if you have the space for it, just like increasing rents, doing climate control, just all these little things you could do.
Billboard.
Oh yeah, billboard was one. Put a billboard on the side of the property.
All of those things added a specific number of value, which was, it was just like.
And definitely looking for like mom and pop facilities that don't have a website. And he was like, and if they don't have a website, they're gonna be hard to find. So you gotta kind of just like drive around and call the numbers that you see. And it was, I don't know, inspiring to like go out and do the legwork.
And if you're gonna do the legwork, he told us a story where he was calling a mom and pop self-storage facility. I think he said for like almost 20 years. He touched them once a year and would reach back out, and at some point got a call from like the owner's niece, who the guy was like 95, and she was like, listen, just give us what you can.
You've been calling us forever.
Yeah. And they ended up getting it, and he was saying it was like one of his best deals. So yeah, just be persistent for sure. It
was awesome. Then Brandon Turner did a session and Jay Scott did a separate session, but they had a lot of similar themes. They were talking about 2 separate things, but what I got from them were very similar. And that was, even though we've just talked about short-term rentals and self-storage and investing out of state, they were very much like, listen, if you're doing something and you're bored and you now want to go do all these other asset classes, that's fine. But they were like, why are you gonna throw out all of your experience that you just did to go chase something new? Build one bridge, use it to get to your goal, and then once you get there, then you can expand out. So like, as much as we do want to get into short-term rentals and self-storage and investing out of state, I do think we kind of need to focus and be like, we already know the New Jersey markets. We already know street by street and appraisal value and agents, and we already have a team.
Yep.
We already know how to burr. We already have private lenders. Like, why are we running away from that to go try something new?
It's almost like don't get in your own way of that success. And we've done so much to build those teams that I think it would be a disservice to ourselves to switch gears and go into a different asset class right now.
This conference definitely reinforced our decision to hire a contractor for next door, because we definitely need to be working on the business instead of in it. And I don't want to just pay a contractor and get all this free time and then like do nothing productive with it. So we're challenging ourselves that we want to be under contract with our next burr property by the time the renovation next door is finished. And consistent action is what they talked a lot about. So we are going to devote, I haven't decided exactly how much time yet, but like a set amount of time each week to finding that next property.
And I'm a huge advocate for whatever strategy is used on the larger scale, you can still take things away from that and use that in a smaller scale. So all of those census, population growth strategies, I'm gonna start implementing for us in our market area and just start looking into different towns and cities nearby and seeing what that is like, because then now I'm getting experience and how to do that. So when we go to look in Florida, I don't know, Atlanta, it's kind of not brand new to us.
I would actually be interested to kind of like reverse it, and we already know the towns that we have success in, and like analyze it as if you don't know it exists and see if it is good.
It probably is terrible.
It's probably terrible, but it's been working for us. But that'd be cool to see. Like,
yeah, that would be cool to see how it stocks up to other towns nearby. Yeah, for sure.
And then it maybe even either reinforces us investing in that area or makes us realize that maybe it's not the best.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest takeaways was just the motivation that it gave us to come back here. How we use that motivation is up to us, but I think it's going to be to go out and find our next bird deal. So like it's almost like the fire's relit. Like we got kind of like tied up with this renovation and then managing and finding a contractor for that side. Now it's ready. It's time to like refocus, re-aim, and divert our energy towards finding our next bird deal.
It was definitely like a good, like pivotal event to happen as we were hiring a contractor next door, because you're right, like we met so many people, and if we were DIYing forever, we wouldn't have time to go to conferences like this or go to meetups. And I think the relationships that we've made at the conference and the like inspiration and the motivation we got from talking with everyone, from eating breakfast with people or just like running into them on the line in the bathroom or at the airport, like all these little conversations, like we got something from every single person. And what if we were small-minded and we're like, oh no, we're renovating next door, we can't go.
At the end of the day, Brandon Turner was talking, and it might have been him and David Green, but they were talking, and they were talking about like an upside down pyramid. Remember that? It was like you start off in like this DIY phase, and then you move on to
the project
manager phase, and then you move on to
the architect
phase. And it was funny how like we just jumped transition between like the DIY phase to the project manager phase. So it's like it's almost reassuring to us that we are continuing in the right direction.
So I don't know, I left feeling super validated, super motivated, inspired.
All the things.
It was awesome.
All the things.
And I also left exhausted with heartburn and
we needed a little
sleep
drying
deprived.
out. But if you guys like are on the fence about whether you know, BPCon in the future
or any conference, to be honest.
Or really, honestly, any conference is worth it. It definitely, I mean, this was, in my opinion.
Oh, and then BiggerPockets, good for you guys. You threw us like awesome wrap-up party. So on the last day after the last session, I don't know how they organized it, but they had local bands, like marching bands, and every single attendee walked down Bourbon Street in a celebratory like parade, and then it ended at a bunch of open bars.
Oh, it was awesome. Like random people coming out of restaurants, out of bars, were like cheering. It was so sweet.
What a
it was
way
an awesome
to close
idea.
it out.
Yeah, they killed it with that idea. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. If you weren't there, you missed out. You better go to the next one. And to everyone who came up to us and said hi, everyone we spoke to, even if it was just only for a minute, we loved seeing your faces. We loved being able to meet you in person. So thank you so much for doing so. If we didn't have a chance to meet, we'll just have to do something again in the future.
See you at BPCon 2022.
All right, Bodie just brought us a ball. He wants to play fetch. You guys know the drill. We say it every time, but seriously, please subscribe to this channel. We love sharing our journey with you. We hope you're enjoying it, so please subscribe so you don't miss out. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. And also, if you're enjoying this, share it with a friend who you think's interested. If you have a friend that's maybe wants to get into real estate, or you just think our videos would be helpful, we'd really appreciate you share it. And of course, smash the like button. We'll see you guys in the next one. Did you have fun while we were gone?
You did have fun. I know.